I was friends with a girl once, but then she sucked my dick, and it kind of went south from there. Would you mean south down to your asshole, or she started sucking your toes? No, yeah, that's not good. Seriously? That's not the best. Shouldn't have been doing that, though, you know what I mean? You should know better. I think Charlotte can do this alright. Charlotte's pretty bulky for one thing, so even if it does use an actual attack, but also Thunderstrike is super effective. And Charlotte's a lower level, so it kind of works better for us to level her up while we're doing this, instead of just always switching to Craig and making him really over-leveled. Water Gun is kind of worthless. We've got Surf. We don't need Water Gun. Yeah, there's just no reason. Surf is just better. Less PP, but whatever. Cotton Spore. No. She's already fast, I think. It's not... Maybe. I don't remember, actually. But don't need it. No, fuck that. No, fuck. No. Yes. Do we have anything that's actually gonna evolve? Or did all those Pokemon die? Four Eyes can evolve. Let's put fucking Four Eyes out there real quick, just so he can... Because he just needs to level up one time and then he's evolved. Everyone else is fully... No, John, too. Right, okay, so yeah, we do want to work on John. If you want to keep your current team, power level Tyranitar and Typhlosion. Well, I kind of need to level up everyone. I don't know, man. We could do that, but that was kind of our problem before, was we had not much stuff leveled up very high, and then they fucking all died. You know? So I don't really want to do that again. That wasn't the best. She wanted to get with me after that, but I was like, nah, you a thought. You're not wrong, but it sounds like you might have at least then been the male equivalent of a thought. So, who's the real thought? Think about that one. Oh, speaking of some lady crawling all over some dick. Anyone see that? Anyone see the new Assassin's Creed Origins? Or not Origins. What? Odyssey. The new Assassin's Creed game. Let me give you some background. Right? I don't really like Assassin's Creed game, but that's not the background. They're like pretty, you know, samey. I'm not really the biggest fan of them. But apparently, a friend of mine was telling me, guy I worked with on the boat, he was a big Assassin's Creed fan. I don't know why. He's got normie taste, normal fag taste. I hate that normal fags are starting to get me to say normie. But, yeah, he had some normal fag taste. What are you gonna do? He liked the Assassin's Creed games. And he said that, like, the Egypt one, I think it was, had this, let me take a quick drink. It had this, like, Discovery Tour mode, where you could, like, pay less money for it, and you'd be able to look around real-life versions of Egypt, real-life quote-unquote, you know what I mean? Like, but it was supposed to be some semi-historical, and I guess one of the reasons they made that mode was because some schools had been using Assassin's Creed for, like, classes and shit, which is, like, that's dumb. But that's what they were doing, so they wanted to make it more appropriate for it. And then there was something, I don't know if it was, I can actually look it up right now, because I want to make sure I'm not making this up. I think it was in the Egypt one. Oh, in Assassin's Creed's Origin, how am I fucking this up? Assassin's Creed Origins had the tour mode. I don't know which one Origins was. Maybe that's the Egyptian one. I don't know. But okay, so Assassin's Creed Origins had a tour mode where you could look around whatever fucking civilization it was in. And they made the weird decision, like, because it's supposed to be historical, they've got all these statues and stuff, like, of famous statues that are, like, nowadays they're ruined, you know? But, like, back then they would have been in good form. So they they had all these statues around that you could look at and see what they might have looked like when they were in one piece. And that's kind of cool. You know, that's like a nice little historical thing. But for some reason, they decided it would be a good idea to censor all of it. So you go and find a statue of Venus or some shit. I don't know what statues are actually in the game. But they show these pictures, they got fucking shells over the nipples and the vag or whatever is showing with the statues. And it's like, that's real art. You know what I mean? You can't say you're trying to make something historically accurate and then put fucking shells over the nipples. For one thing, it's art. No one does that anymore. Venus was Roman. I know, it was an example. But you know, like, for one, no one censors art. You know, like, nudity in art is accepted. That's like just a common thing. But also, on top of that, it's like you're trying to pass off as historically accurate. That's not true. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. That's false. There were no shells on those nipples. But so the story has a resolution, right? Some people complained about it, and it seems like they may have changed it in the most recent Assassin's Creed, because now I don't know. Maybe you could do this in the old one and you just couldn't do it in tour mode. I don't know. But I was scrolling through Twitter, and someone posted some video from the newest Assassin's Creed, and it was a video of the assassin climbing all over some giant Zeus dick, because now they're not censoring them. You can go find a big statue of Zeus. It's got a big Zeus penis, and you can crawl on it. You can climb up on it. Maybe a little far in the opposite direction. You know, Ubisoft. Maybe a little far in the opposite direction. You know, like, people were just asking for it to be uncensored, not for you to be able to like stroke it with your entire body like some sort of weird giant fetish. But you know, yay for no censorship. By the way, here we go. What we were hoping for. Let's. I don't think it's not psychic type. I looked it up, but hopefully its stats will be good. We can only hope. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a kind of weird decision on their part, but I don't know. Normal flying prevents sleep is not bad. Its special attack is still its best stat, despite the fact that it isn't really made to do that because it's a normal flying type. But okay, its attack isn't bad. It's got, you know, pretty somewhat well-rounded stats, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so we got confusion. Yeah, it's alright. You know, he's okay. He's not leaving the team or anything. I'm gonna keep him on. He's alright. He's now he's the highest level Pokemon on our team, which is a little underwhelming when you look at his stats, right? Especially compared to Craig. Craig is just better. And I mean, I know what you're thinking, like, yeah, it's a fucking knockdown, of course, but like the stats are randomized somewhat. Although I think they still have the same base value, like they all add up to the same number, maybe, but they are randomized. I don't know. I was hoping for better, but it's not the worst. It'll do. He still has hypnosis and shit, so he's still on the team. He's still important. If I remember correctly, he can learn Dream Eater. Ooh. Is there somewhere I can get Dream Eater? Because that would actually be pretty good, right? Like, putting him to sleep and then using Dream Eater, that's a pretty good move, if I remember. I think it's a pretty good move. Oh, I didn't want Tackle. No, Tackle. I'm out of Thundershock. Okay, we'll switch to Craig, and after Craig runs out of Rock Slide, we'll have to go back. But, our Pokemon are already significantly better than they were when we started this, so already this has paid off. Oh, that's not what okay. The grind is painful. Yeah, why do you think I never do this shit? Why do you think I lost all my Pokemon because I didn't want to do this? But, I mean, it just gives us an opportunity to talk about fucking dick and balls, stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's great. Each stat has a base value, and from there it's randomized. That's what I thought. Yeah. It's a TM, but I don't think it's in this version. Okay, great. Yeah, alright. Yeah, already our Pokemon are, like, starting to be on par with the stuff we're training with, which is nice. Soon we won't have to keep switching them out, probably. Right, I did that again. Yeah, I did that again. Surf's probably fine, right? Yeah, okay. Might need to go refill my water in a second. Ugh. He does learn it, though. Oh. Does he learn it soon? Because that'd actually be sweet. He's got decent health, too. I keep forgetting that that's one of the stats that is, like, a stat. You know, like, I keep forgetting that health is also something that is not set in stone. And he's got decent health. He's on par with Craig. So, that is a stat. You know, it doesn't show up in the stat screen, but it is a stat that is not just based on level. So, okay. You know, that's something decent. Not that it's not amazing or anything, I don't think. What level does John evolve? Let's level Garfield up a little bit. Let's switch back. Let's go back real quick just so we can get our PP back. We might even want to go on to whatever we're supposed to do next soon. We could even check that out. No, we want to get like a little bit more, right? Like some of our Pokemon aren't even level 20. We should probably get them a little higher before we... Oh, we should run away from this. Did you know that H-I-U... Oh, you. You're trying to say me? We know that you disapprove of porn, but should it be legal or illegal for consumption in your view? I don't know, man. It's kind of like... There's two ways to think about it. You know, like, clearly it's bad, but then you start thinking about what's the point of a government? Is it to stop people from doing things that are bad, or is it not? You know what I mean? And the like, American, you know, fuck you sort of thought would be that it's not at all the government's place to not only determine what's good or bad, but also police it. Not necessarily, anyway. Like, it still does that, but it shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But on top of that, it's just a law that you would think is not easily enforced, even if it was a good idea. Learns at level 57. Okay, so that might, like, not ever happen. It's just also, it would not be easily enforced, because you start getting into definition. But, at the same time, early US history, pornography did not fall under the definition of free speech. You could be arrested for pornography. And there didn't seem to be any confusion about what was pornography and what wasn't, so maybe it would be fine, and, you know, it would work out fine. People would understand what is and isn't. But, again, it's like, is that really... I don't think that's a big issue. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to think about that one a lot. And that's not really a big enough issue to, for me to, like, really give that some deep thought. You know? There are a lot of bigger things going on than... I mean, actually, pornography is still a pretty big issue in, like, the modern world. But at the same time, not really an issue that would ever get fixed reasonably. You know? At least it could get fixed at an individual level, but, like, a government banning porn, that's, like, impossible. It's not gonna happen. You know. It's to It's to protect human rights, and watching porn doesn't go against rights unless you see sperm as human. Well, no, the point of government is not to protect human rights. I don't know where you got that, but no, yeah. It depends on what you mean by human rights, even if you did say that was the point. Is like... Does a human have the right to be a bad person? And I mean, yeah, yeah, sure. But, I don't know. When you get into rights, it's just like... I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking... It's kind of a stupid question anyway, because it's like... It's just illogical that not only could it ever happen, but could it be enforced? If the police shouldn't, if the government shouldn't police morals, who should? Well, it's not necessarily that they shouldn't police it. It's that they shouldn't necessarily determine it. But, no, I mean, I'm not going for, like, an ANCAP thing that no one should, necessarily. I'm just saying, like, you're talking about something that's not causing harm to other people. It's someone causing harm to himself. So at that point, you're starting to talk about there needs to be a good moral basis for that. And again, it doesn't matter because no one's ever going to pass that kind of law. That's just like, it would just never happen. I mean, I guess fucking we're a country full of alcoholics, and yet the temperance movement managed to get that amendment through, you know what I mean? So, like, I guess it's not impossible, but I'd certainly be surprised. Point of the government is to protect your rights. John Locke said that. Well, yeah, you could definitely say that the U.S. government was built to protect your rights. You might be hard-pressed to say that any other ones were, but yeah, that's the point of the Constitution. That's another important point, is people start to say that, like, they talk about how, you know, the government gives us certain rights. That's not true. You know, it says right in the Constitution that the whole point is that they're God-given rights. You know, you hear it with, like, Second Amendment shit. Stuff like that, like, oh, we should stop giving people the right to bear arms. We should, get rid of the Second Amendment or whatever. It's like, well, no, the Second Amendment doesn't say that the government gives you the right. The Second Amendment is saying that God gave you the right to bear arms, and that it's not going to do anything to stop that. It's extremely different, and it's like, oh, you disagree with that? That's something else entirely. You know what I mean? You could disagree with that all you want, but at least understand what it's saying. You know, all the rights in the Bill of, like all the rights that are talked about in the Constitution are not rights the government gives you. It's rights that the government promises not to infringe. I think I'm gonna go get some water real quick though. Take a quick little break. If you're, watching at home, you wanna take a piss real quick, grab some popcorn or something. Of course we're frozen. Right, good. Yeah, I'm gonna fill up my water so I don't die. Gotta stay hydrated. And I'm gonna take a piss. I'll be back in a second. All right, hey, welcome back. Hope you're ready to grind and shoot the shit. A lot of people are still here, so I gotta say, there must be sort of a comfy quality to just sitting around, grinding out some Pokemon, and shooting the shit. Because honestly, that's all we've been doing for the past, like, 2 hours. We've got, like, 2 hours, and we've just been fucking grinding, basically. Like, we set up our team, and now we're grinding. Like... But hey, you know what I mean? It's a comfy time. I warned you early on that it was gonna be grinding. I should have warned you that it was gonna be comfy. You know? I don't want Encore. I don't care about Encore. Maybe there's some shit I could have done with that, but yeah, I don't know. Government stuff. What are you gonna do? It's one of those kind of things. What are you gonna do? Although I missed something. The government can't arrest you unless you infringe upon another's rights. That's not true. You ever heard of this? Try to commit suicide right now. Find out what happens. Tell the police you're gonna commit suicide. You'll be arrested. That's not true. Will you be charged with anything? No, not really. You might be taken to a mental hospital, but that's just them looking out for you, really. But it doesn't mean they won't step in. You know? I don't know. When you come to a lot of this shit, I think generally a lot of things when it comes to, like, what should be illegal, what shouldn't be illegal, why. I think it comes down to, a lot of it I think would be solved with good old states' rights, you know? I really do think that maybe just a little bit of experimentation is in order, you know? This is something I've thought about a little bit. It's just like, what if fucking Pennsylvania just decided Let's make fucking cocaine legal. Let's make heroin legal. Let's do all that, you know? And then just like let them do that for a few years. See what happens. Is that a good idea or a bad? You know, we can make fucking like assumptions as to why something should be illegal or legal. You know, you can say, oh, it should be illegal because it's fucking bad. Or you can say it should be legal because that will actually decentivize its use or something like that. You know, it'll cut away profits from the cartels and shit. Maybe. Try it out. See, you know, see what happens. If it turns into an absolute fucking statewide shithole, move. You know what I mean? You can't do that when it's a national law, right? If every drug in existence was suddenly made legal tomorrow in the entirety of the US, I can't fucking move if that sends us into chaos, right? And like, shouldn't that's another thing, is like whether or not any of these things are like should or should not be legal, how we should handle certain problems. It makes a lot more sense on a fucking like local level anyway. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I've never really considered it, I guess, but I don't think anyone really is of the belief that we should go back to making alcohol illegal, right? That was basically a mistake, right? Like that was it at least we tried it and it didn't fucking work. At least at a national level. But then you go up to Alaska, right? And in Alaska, there are different native villages where it is illegal to have alcohol. Alcohol is illegal in those native villages. And you know why? It's because those villages, those Native Americans, by and large, cannot handle alcohol. They're genetically, just different to where alcohol affects them in a much different way than it does like a Western man. Like, they get addicted to it more easily, and it really fucks them up. And so, in those Alaskan, little towns, alcohol's illegal. And there's no fucking mafia running around selling under-the-counter alcohol or anything. You know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking ill effects because they're just a bunch of fucking natives up there. You know, like for their local situation, it makes perfect sense to make alcohol illegal. But nationwide, it clearly didn't. It didn't work. It just made it made a lot of things worse. So that's kind of like what it's almost like that's what they fucking had in mind in the first place. Maybe that's why they're called states, and why everywhere else in the world a state is something you would call a country, right? Like maybe that's just the fucking Southern blood talking. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Children can't move either. Those are the people you'd be fucking over. Well, but their parents can move. Unless you're talking about orphans, I don't really see what the argument there is. If you lived in Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania went to shit because of some law they passed, you wouldn't leave your children behind when you moved. You know what I mean? Unless the parents weren't thinking of their children, so they don't care and they stay around. In which case, they sound like pretty bad parents, and that probably wouldn't change based on the laws. You know, like I don't know if I follow that one. Alaska is an exception. Well, but that's the thing. Or wait, why would the mafia travel to Alaska just to sell booze? Why does the cartel travel to fucking the United States to sell drugs? Supply and demand. You know what I mean? If something is illegal, the supply is lower. Demand is not necessarily lower. So, I mean, that's why. Same thing. You believe it or not, there are some people, small amounts of people, who do try to smuggle alcohol into those native villages, simply because they can sell it for a ton of money. I don't think it's really as widespread as the fucking mafia was, though. Nor does it have, it's not like all the natives are still just getting away with it. Getting away with it not even being the right word because they chose this. But, it's I just think maybe a little bit of local politics is in order. I don't know. What if you had deadbeat, druggy parents thanks to legal drugs? Dude, I had deadbeat druggy parents due to illegal drugs. I don't know what would have changed there. You know what I mean? That wouldn't have affected me at all. What are you talking about? I don't know, man. I like, yeah, you're right. That it depends. This is the problem right here. Is what we're doing right here. Is we're making guesses. We're just assuming that if we made drugs legal, more people would take drugs, right? Like if drug was made legal tomorrow, would I go take heroin? No, I wouldn't. So like, it's pure speculation. Could that happen? Yes, because it is definitely a human error. It's really a fallacy, but that people tend to. I don't want to use the word conflate because that's like a meme word, but I'm going to use it. They tend to conflate that. They tend to equate legality to morality, right? People tend to make that mistake of, oh, if it's legal, it must be good, right? That's nonsense. Just because it's absolute nonsense. But it's not. It's a mistake people make. And so, is there an argument that if you made all drugs legal, more people would use them? Yes, obviously. Is that what would happen? Definitely. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna pretend to know. I have no idea. Am I even arguing that we should fucking make it legal? No. I'm just saying, by and large, not even for this thing in particular, I just think by and large, we should maybe have some local governance, you know? Maybe with a little bit more importance to it. It's just an idea. I'm not really like married to it or anything. I'm you know, why not? Seems like we could suss some things out that way. And I mean, that's like what the Constitution is there for too. Like, you always got that backup, you know? Vermont tries to like ban free speech, the federal government can still step in and say, you know, the Supreme Court, like, hey, you can't fucking do that one. You know, like there's a limit here. But like, you wanna make it to where you know, can't shop on Sundays? Whatever, give it a shot, see what happens. Your economy crashes? Oh well. But on the other hand, France still fucking does that, and a lot of, I think maybe the whole country. They're still, you know, a first world country. For now, you know, most of it. Depends on if you ban alcohol in a society that never had alcohol, they wouldn't care. But if you take away from an addict, that's a bad idea. Well, literally, that's what they did in Alaska. Was all of the natives were addicted to alcohol, so they took it away, and it seems to have worked very well. So I don't know, man. My mom was fine. My mom was fine. She got a job where her coworker did meth, and would have been fine if she'd never been exposed to it. I'm not sure. Are you saying you're? I'm not parsing that right. I don't know what I'm missing something there. The slippery slope is not a fallacy, but actual fact. It's a fallacy to assume the slippery slope, as I think one thing. It's not a fallacy when the slippery slope fucking happens to recognize that it happened. You know what I mean? You remember how people used to joke about if we legalized gay marriage, people would be fucking their dogs? Guess what? You know what I mean? Like guess what? That's not. On the other hand, was that not happening before? It probably was. But you know, you hear these like reports that like some woman in Italy married herself. That I would be 0% surprised if that wasn't like an old argument, you know, slippery slope argument. It doesn't make it less of a fallacy, but it does make it true. You know what I mean? Like if it actually happened, then it's like, oh well. Oh. Of course, correlation is not causation. Also, it's just funny. In Carolina, we can shop on Sundays, we just can't buy booze. Yeah, that's what, there's some places like that. You know, and those are little local laws that, like, yeah, whatever. You know, the people want to do something like that, let them do it. Let them police themselves like that. If they want to do that, good on them. You know, whatever. The thing is, though, no one fucking votes in local elections anyway, so it's basically gonna stay like however it is. But hopefully, you know, in this fucking La La Land made up hypothetical, that would not be the case. You know? I don't know. My dad was a reasonable and respectable man until he drank. Then he beat up my mother, drove drunk, and hit a dog without even caring. Then he went over to our neighbors and raped a mom and daughters. Finally, he went to the countryside and pillaged several villages until he finally stopped drinking and became the good man he was before alcohol. For one, that didn't happen. For two, I don't know what you're trying to prove with that point. Oh, well, yeah. This is fine. It sounds like you're trying to exaggerate the idea that alcohol turns someone into a bad person. I can't tell if that's what you're trying. I think that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to exaggerate the point that like someone could do all these bad things, but it was simply because of alcohol. Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like people aren't, you know, like obviously people can use some sort of substance and it can fuck them up and turn them into a worse person. But there's also, like, definitely an element, especially with alcohol, of, like, responsibility. You still did that, you know? But I wouldn't necessarily rule out the entire idea of you use some substance and it fucks you up. I mean... Oh, shit. We're gonna need to go get more, PP again. Alcohol is what makes people bad when they never had bad qualities in the first place. Yeah, that's why. That's the point I thought you were trying to make there. But yeah, it's like, oh, my mom became a meth head after she's around people who did it. She probably would have been fine if she never moved out to Missouri. Right, but like it was still illegal in Missouri, so I don't know what you know what I mean? That's like the same as, yeah, my mom did meth, and like she wouldn't have done it if my dad didn't do meth. You know what I mean? But like, it was illegal, you know, they were still, if they did meth then, they would have done it while it was legal too, I imagine. I don't know. Unless you're just you know, giving a story. In which case, okay. You know, but like, I'm not saying we should legalize meth. You know, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I'm almost just using that as a springboard for the idea of more local governance. Not that we should legalize meth. I'd have to, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, no, I don't want to fly. Let's go do a little bit more grinding. That's what we're here for, right? That's what we're doing. I should just put that right in the title, because that's what we're doing. But after a few more levels, we might go fight Team Magma a little bit. Simply because we've been doing this a lot. And some of our Pokemon are ready. You know. Some of them. Plus, we don't need to get them up to like level 40 or anything, right? Like, yeah, that gym was pretty high level, but everything else around has been pretty low. I don't think Team Magma is going to be that high of a level, actually. Like, I think we should have gotten it higher before the boss, you know, before the gym, but we didn't, and I don't think we need to worry about that again. You know, like, we don't need to get it to quite that level. I think. I don't know. Small quantity of alcohol actually has benefits. If you want the benefits, just drink vinegar. That's not right. What are you talking about? Just drink vinegar. One of the main benefits of alcohol, like from drinking wine, is this certain thing that only comes when you can only get it basically from fermenting grapes. You couldn't get it from vinegar, not as far as I know. But yeah, you're right. One drink, sometimes even 2 drinks a night. I wouldn't go. Basically, there's been a very in-depth study. I would recommend you look it up. Because you can find the actual research paper online. And that's what finally convinced me. I was planning on never drinking my entire life, but then I found out it actually is healthier for you. So now I'll have, like, a drink. I've never been drunk in my life, and I can assure you that won't happen. But that's partially because I come from a family of alcoholics with extremely high tolerances, so I could drink, like, fucking 13 drinks and not be drunk. I know that because I did that once. But what I'm saying is, yeah, this study, it looked at a bunch of British doctors, and vinegar is aged wine. Oh, well, I guess. Yeah, I guess if you, like, fucking let your wine go bad. Sure. But, I looked, you know, there's the study, right? They're both fermented grapes. Have there been, here's the thing. Have there been any studies that show that, like, drinking vinegar, just regular, you know, like, wine that's rotted away into not tasting very good, is good for you anyway? Because I know there's been this study where they got a bunch of British doctors, and they had them all, you know, they try to control for it, where they're all the same race, they all make about the same income, they're all healthy people, so, like, none of those things will affect the results. And they tested the ones, they looked at the ones who drank once a night, who didn't drink, and the ones who had drank before and quit, because that's another thing that can fuck up your results. And the ones who drank were healthier. The ones who drank one drink a night were healthier. So, like, that is a study that, like, anything you could poke a hole in that study, they went out of their way to make sure that, like, they fix that. Like, because normally you can say, well, you know, maybe because they're, you know, poor people in the study, they, you know, they were drinking shitty alcohol. It's like, nope, they're all doctors. They all make good money. Well, maybe it affects different races differently. Nope, they're all British. Doesn't affect the results. Well, maybe some people are just healthier than others, and you know, maybe someone's drinks a lot, but they're healthier because they go and work out. You know, it's like, nope, they're all doctors in good shape. So that's not a factor either. Like, they controlled for all of that, and they still got the result that drinking one drink a night is better for you. Even drinking 2 drinks a night is better for you in every single area except stroke. If you drink 1 drink a night, your chance of stroke was lower, according to the study. If you drink 2 drinks a night, your chance of stroke stays the same, I think. So, if you don't want to have a stroke, you should only drink 1, I suppose. That wine study has been debunked. No, what do you mean it's been debunked? Show me where it's been debunked. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about some fucking news shit where they have these, like, BuzzFeed articles where they change the opinion of what is scientifically believed every other day. I'm talking about, like, a study where you can look at it yourself and clearly see that, like, yeah, that's, you know, like, I read the research paper. You know what I mean? Unless they fucking lied in a peer-reviewed research paper, I don't know how you would debunk that. Except maybe a larger sample size, I suppose. Tackle is worthless to us. I was gonna get rid of Thunder Shot because Thunder Punch is just kind of better. Also, Thunder Punch is fucking great. I'm happy we got that. But Thunder Shock might be useful for, like, situations like this, where we're, like, kind of grinding. We might run out of PP or something. So, I'll keep it. Just get rid of Tackle. Tackle's pointless. Very happy about Thunder Punch, though. Yeah, fucking one-hit kill. I'm aware I'm a doctor. Oh. Is that right? I wasn't aware of that. Well, still, then you should link it, man. I'd be very interested in knowing that, you know? Because, yeah, I know that because normally you can't fucking, you have to read the studies, because all this, the shit they say, and, like, the news sources are just going for the headlines, you know what I mean? Like, apples cause cancer! It's like, oh, okay, what's your study behind that one? Oh, one guy who ate apples got cancer? Oh. Okay. Guess I'll stop eating apples. You know, like, it's like, oh, no, I didn't want to run. I still ran. It's like, by and large, that shit's bullshit, but You know, looking into it, it looked pretty... Looked right to me. They didn't really account for everything. It's not debunked, but there are many negative factors associated with wine. What do you mean they didn't account for everything? That was the one point that really convinced me, was that they accounted for fucking, like, everything you could have thought of. Like, every normal, like, problem with those kind of studies, they had accounted for. And it was like, they actually, I was very impressed by how they accounted for it. That, you know, just find a bunch of people that are very similar. Professions that encourage them to be healthy. Make sure they are healthy. Make sure they're all around the same age. That was another thing. They were all around the same age. They made sure it wasn't a matter of some that had to stop drinking and that affected it. Like, it was... I was very impressed with their work. But, I don't know. I actually drink vinegar because it tastes good. Well, me too. I drink apple cider vinegar. I really like apple cider vinegar. But that's separate. You know, I just like that stuff. And it's supposed to be healthy for you. I haven't looked into that one, because that's one of those things where, like, I'd probably drink it anyway, so as long as it's not killing me, you know, who fucking cares? I don't really care if the hype around drinking vinegar is real or not, because I'm drinking it anyway. I really like it. But, I don't know. Yeah, this Thunder Punch is really nice. It actually speeds this up a little bit. Not that it matters, we're just fucking sitting around shooting the shit about medical research papers, but still. Great. Okay, well, since we're gonna have to stop, since we have to go back now, since we're frozen, this, I think, is gonna be the point where I go on to fight, like, one of the Team Magma, like, grunts. Because I think they're all in that building over here. And let's see... Oh, is there a secret item here? No. Let's see if we can take him. Let's see what it's like. We'll still start with John, so that we can level him up a little bit. We'll just switch out right away, you know. But let's see what level we're looking at. 31? See, that's about what I expected, honestly. That's about what I thought it would be. So we can just switch to Charlotte. And, we should be alright. Should be alright to... Yeah, that's fucking easy. Switch back to John. Make some progress. Do you know the modern Hippocratic Oath was changed to avoid the part where they swore not to take a life? No, that's shitty. No, I didn't know that. Is that real? You making that up? Spoopy stream of Silent Hill at the dead of night. Good shit right there. Yeah, it would be. We're still playing this, though. You know what I mean? More Silent Hill is definitely coming, and more spooky games in general are coming. But, like, this Pokemon one is, basically... One way or another, it seems like it's coming to an end. You know, like, we're getting near the Elite Four. Or if we die sometime before that, it's coming to an end. You know what I mean? Either we're going to win soon, or we're going to lose soon. So, like, it's not... I want to make a little bit of progress on this. You know, get a little bit closer to winning or losing. Whichever way that's gonna go. Obviously winning. But, you know, make a little bit of progress. I'm very happy with that. Very happy John was able to do that right now. Not happy that he didn't level up. Kind of that's why I did that, was for him to get more EXP, but that was good. Baltoy's a psychic type, right? Let's go Craig. Let's just be safe with this one. Craig should be able to take it. If he's psychic type, Dark is good against that anyway. Okay, yeah. Not very effective, but he's like fucking destroyed by it. Read the original versus the new. I'll have to check that later. That would be interesting. As a way to, like... I imagine the abortion change to it is absolutely true. That's fucked up. I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty bad. I can't say I'm surprised, but I can say I'm disappointed. I'm not angry. Just disappointed. Could have done better, doctors. Or the guy who changed that. Could have done better. Yeah, I'll have to look at that later. But that sounds, yeah, pretty fucked up. For or against the change? Yes, if I'd be pretty against the change of doctors not swearing to not kill people. Gotta say, I would not. No, I'm not really. Okay, let me take a quick. No, I'm not gonna take a quick look because that doesn't tell me anything. I could Google right now. Hippocratic Oath changed. You know what I mean? And I might get some articles saying like, oh, the Hippocratic Oath was changed, but I'd have to look into it to find out if it actually did. You know what I mean? Just because there's some article written about it doesn't mean it happened. So, yeah, I'll look at it later. I don't know what Pokemon it was. I skipped it. Okay. Just surf him. Just surf him. Just wow, John, you're pretty all right. Ocean Man, finish this off. Okay. I'm surprised. John's like under leveled and he's doing pretty good. Did his stats get better? Mud shot. Constrict sucks. So, sure. Did John get better stats while I've been leveling him up? I mean, obviously he got better stats while we level. That's the whole point of leveling him up. Yeah, his special attack is his highest stat, so like that's not bad. You mix that with a very high water, you know, a stab bonus, and that's actually pretty decent. He's not a bad little water guy. Whenever he levels up, he might actually be really good. Actually, fuck yeah, when he levels up, he might be like really good. Cause this is him just like at his first form. I think he's only got 2 forms, but like those evolutions can increase the stats a lot. And he's already got a good distribution. So this could be John could be a contender, you know? John could go places. This isn't going to be a triple battle, but please don't tell me it's a double battle. Oh, right. No, it's this. Right. No, we have to fight him 3 in a row. That's probably fine. Because they have like 1 Pokemon? Yeah, that's fine. Never mind, that's fine. I don't even need to worry about this. This is fucking garbage trainers we're fighting. 1 hit kill. Yeah, it's nothing. Never mind. Just look up original versus modern. I'll do it later. Hey, I'll do it later. Also, can confirm doctors are stupid, myself included. Okay, wait a minute. Did anyone hear about that? This I have to look up to get the country right real quick. But it's like it's really. Where was it? Where is it? Come on. Am I really not gonna be able to find it? Shit. Okay, I don't know what country it was, but I remember Dalton linking this to me, and I really just liked the idea of it. Even if it's fake, I like the idea. But it was this article saying African doctor arrested after performing 7 successful surgeries or something like that. You know, like because he wasn't a real doctor. It was like fake surgeon arrested after performing 7 successful surgeries. It's like, well, what's the problem? You know, like okay, he doesn't have his qualifications, but if he's got a fucking 7 out of 7 record, you know, like, hey, why not? You know, I think, I don't remember what country it was, but it was in Africa. I think it was like Ghana or something like that. It's like, they're probably hurting for doctors. I don't really know if I would be against just letting that guy continue to practice, you know? Like, you should maybe just send him to school real quick or something. Get him a certification. Because it's like, fuck, if my doctor can do the surgery successfully, I don't necessarily need him to have gone to college or anything, right? Like, when it comes to a doctor, I'd prefer it, you know, so I know he knows what he's doing, but if he knows what he's doing from some other way, it's like, fuck, I don't care. You got your experience on the job? Doesn't matter to me, you know? Cut me open. I'm ready, you know? It sounds like you can do it. That's a track record, you know? That speaks a lot more highly than a degree. But no, it's against the law, so. So, and I mean, I understand, like, you can't just have people going around calling themselves doctors, cutting people open willy-nilly. Oh, I accidentally, quick saved. But you know, but it's a little different when this guy clearly knows what he's doing. Oh well, you know, if you can't even get away with that in Africa, you just can't get away with that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. You like, if anyone had like the dream of becoming like a rural doctor who just didn't ever go to schooling, but you know, like knew it from the experience, it's impossible. Like if this guy couldn't do it, you can't do it. I think you need a balance of both. No, especially for a doctor, like I said, I would prefer him to have some education. I'm not suggesting here that we should do away with the requirement of doctors needing to get education. But this guy in particular, like this one case, fuck man, I don't know. I think maybe you should just let him have it. You know? I don't know. The thing is though, I didn't do a lot of reading on this one, which is why I'm gonna look it up later, because Dalton sent it to me. So, you know, I trust Dalton, but I don't know if he did his research, and that was like just the headline, you know what I mean? So I don't know, yeah, like what were the surgeries? I don't know. Whatever they were, you know, that's one thing, is like maybe he was doing a bunch of really simple surgeries, but maybe just let him keep doing those simple surgeries. Or were they, amputations? I don't know. Well, maybe they really needed an amputated arm, though, and, like, this guy was the guy he was the fucking best amputation specialist in the country. I don't know. What I do know, though, is that they phrased it badly to where there could be a loophole in this, right? Like, the headline was like, African fake doctor arrested after performing seven successful surgeries. Well, maybe he did like 80 unsuccessful surgeries. You know? Like, that's a lot different. Like I thought about that later. Like, maybe he did more surgeries, you know? They didn't say 7 successful out of 7 ever. They just said 7. Like, obviously the way they phrased it would lead you to believe that it's 7 out of 7, but you know, they could have just been misleading. I think we're gonna fight the boss guy right now. Who do we want to? He's definitely gonna have fire type, I'd assume. So we probably want to lead with John. Hey, we're doing something. I know, right? It's crazy. But actually, I just drank like a full gallon of water, so I'm gonna... right when we're about to do something very important, I'm gonna go take a quick piss real quick. It'll be even shorter than the last one, so don't worry. Stop worrying. I don't know why you people worry so much. I'll be right back. Oh, okay. It'll be like 1 second.